Did you know that LeBron James recently announced that this was his favorite shoe in his household, the James gang's favorite shoe right now, and it's just that happens to be the shoe that I consider the ultimate dad shoe. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we're taking a detailed look and breakdown of these bad boys right here. This is one of my favorite shoes, and it's one of your favorite shoes currently, as well as LeBron James. So hey, we got something in common, hey.
Our Venn diagrams are crossing.
Yo, it's crazy. This is also a shoe that I consider to be the ultimate dad shoe. That was originally going to be the title of this video. It probably will still be a little bit somewhere, but I just saw that LeBron had really touted these, which I thought was interesting because it's not a new shoe or anything. This is the 5th model within the Vomero line, which I believe is still ongoing, right? So there's things that we can't talk about. I hate signing NDAs.
All right, zip it.
This shoe is awesome, and that's really all you need to know, but if you wanted to know more, here you go. So first things first, this shoe was originally released way back in 2011, and at the time it was actually a performance running shoe. Nowadays it comes in this box, which is a sportswear box, so that means it's a lifestyle shoe. But I would argue that you could still run in these if you wanted to. The only thing is that if you needed some arch support, that's where they fall a little bit flat. So if you wanted to swap out the insole with something that actually did have arch support, that would be recommended if that's something that you need. However, for everybody else, if you've got that neutral arch and all that stuff, or you don't even give a about that, then just leaving them as is should be fine. The outsole is awesome, and yes, these are heavily worn because, well, I did the B-roll when I got them, and then I just started wearing them. They were so comfortable, I was like, the video, we're just gonna do this way. So yeah, so I was eventually gonna make a video, which is where we're at now. But in case you were wondering what everything is, we've got a mixture of rubber here, which I think is cool. Again, it's an original feature from 2011, or from the original 2011 version of the shoe that they have kept on all of the subsequent retros. And basically what you see here, this gray area at the forefoot, that's actually Duralon. And Duralon is a really interesting type of rubber because it's not all rubber, it's mostly foam. So what you have here is something that's tacky enough to grab the ground while you're in motion, but also soft enough to give you a little bit more extra cushion while you're on the road. Now, all of the black rubber that you see everywhere else is actually their BRS 1000, so that is their more durable form of rubber. I do think that it's interesting that it's all in the areas that maybe you don't need it. You typically would have forefoot strikers, and therefore you would need more durable rubber in the forefoot section, especially with how everything is kind of carved out. Like, you're already going to get compression, and the cushion that is in the shoe is already awesome. So you don't even need all of this extra stuff like the Duralon. But back in 2011, this is what they thought they needed. They needed more durable rubber in the back for heel striking, which is improper running. So I would be interested to know if they were to revamp or protro something like this, how would you do it? You know what I mean? Would you do what I'm saying, which is switch, or would it be a high elevated shoe? You know what I mean? Those crazy performance runners that they have now, the really thick midsole ones. I don't really know. I would just be very interested to know maybe what they would tweak. Do you have a thought?
Yeah, if I was still running and I chose this as my running shoe, I would bring the black
BRS
all the way
there.
down, just because that's my high strike zone.
Yeah, you were exactly who I was thinking about, because my wear zone is right here, and literally at the middle of the forefoot, but hers is all right here. So if you were to look at the two of our shoes, if we were to have them side by side, which you could look at yourself to know where your strike zones are, but basically her exterior sections, where your pinky toe is just obliterated, whereas mine is always in the middle of the forefoot.
And I feel like you could leave it as is for people who land more properly, just because it's more dispersed. So it makes sense for it to still stay Duralon to me.
For comfort reasons, I agree. I just think that it's interesting that for durability reasons that you would want that flipped. But I don't know if that was necessarily as common knowledge as it is today. So something that's interesting with footwear and with sports in general is that we're constantly learning new things. This is with modern medicine as well. What you knew in the 80s definitely wasn't prevalent in the 90s and in the 2000s and so on. So there's always just constantly revamping or relearning of things. And I just think it's very interesting because then you can go back and take something like this that was awesome at its time and make it even more awesome now.
I love it.
Speaking of more awesome, the cushion is it. This is one of the most comfortable shoes ever. And I'm not even considering the boost stuff. That's a different level of comfort. That's a really weird bouncy type of comfort, you know what I mean? If you want to feel like you got a spring in your step, go for an eTPU. I think that that's the move as far as that is concerned. However, if you just want a neutral, comfortable ride where you don't want any instability, you don't want any extra bounce or any of that stuff, but you do want something that is comfortable, this is it. Not only is the midsole full on Cushlon, which is awesome by itself, but we also have two Zoom Air units. One's in the heel, one's in the forefoot, and it's great. great. Like, think about this. Cushlon, heel, and forefoot zoom all together in a lightweight package. Now the upper on these guys is very simple and very straightforward. This is just something that we've seen in running shoes since the 80s. I mean, you can even go back to the 70s and stuff. But yeah, we see this still today as well, where the main body is just a textile or mesh build. This particular shoe, surprisingly enough, has leather overlays, not synthetic overlays. So that's something where I feel like they could interject, or what am I trying to say? They can like interchange, you know what I mean? So like, it doesn't need to be this nice of a material, even though it's not super nice, but when you compare it to mesh, it is. But what I'm trying to get at is that you don't even need to put like actual leather like they have here. You can completely work it with synthetics and it will be just as comfortable and everything and perform just the same. But for whatever reason, this shoe does have leather on it, and I just think that that's awesome for somebody like me. So if you're more interested in the synthetic base pair, again, just kind of take a closer look when you're in store looking at these, although it is a little hard to find them sometimes. I will say that. Like, it's been a minute since we got you a pair, and I ended up just settling for a pair online. Either way, my pair happens to have leather, some of them don't, so depending on which way you swing, there's an option for both. The midfoot is one of my favorite things. It's just the TPU cage. I just think that it looks cool, so I really like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not anything crazy or nothing like that, but it's awesome. And then we got a heel counter right there, which is still substantial, and it actually is a callback to the original Vomero, which is cool. Again, this is a full-on line, so this is the 5th model, but it just so happens to be one of the most popular, so they keep it in production, which I think is awesome. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size, and yes, that even includes wide footers. That's one of the main reasons why I actually grabbed you a pair, because buying you shoes sucks ass. She either doesn't like how they look, or doesn't like how they fit, or doesn't like how they feel. It's always something, you know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why I just buy you sandals. You can't f up there. Oh, actually, I have. So either way, she was asking about some kind of shoe. I think it was these.
It was these. I had wanted them for myself. I had seen them at Phenom. They had a women's version. It was like, I think it might have been a special collab. Like the insoles were different. Anyways, I kept being like, oh, I kind of like these, da 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 da. And he came home and he had bought himself a pair.
I had been interested in them for a very long time too. I just don't usually like the colorways.
So,
because they kind of look like that. They're like really busy.
Yeah, the ones that I was looking at was like a black and brown pair.
Yeah, I wanted a dad shoe version. I just needed something like super neutral. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but these are actually like a light gray. I thought they were white, which is why I bought them, and I was wrong. I think I really am colorblind, which is very weird because I went my whole life not realizing this.
They didn't test you?
I don't know. I know that I could see, so I passed those tests. I don't remember being color tested.
Oh yeah, they have the nurse come into your class in like 2nd or 3rd grade.
I don't know. Man, I'm not sweating because I'm hot. I'm sweating because I'm trying not to
sneeze.
have my nose be a faucet. So it's been a fun day so far. But anyways, these guys right here fit really great. They are a little bit roomy or airy above the foot if you are someone like myself, which is kind of like a normal foot. If you're a narrow footer, I'm not exactly sure I would want to say go down half a size, but it would probably be best just to try them on in store. However, because you were interested in them, I thought that it was like just a great shoe because you were like, what size should I get? And that's why, like, because we could never really find them in store sometimes, she has not pulled the trigger online because she didn't know what size to get. And I had been wearing mine for a couple of weeks already, and I was just like, you're gonna want to go true to size. I swear they're gonna fit you right. And she was like, no, they're not. Nothing fits me right. And the tongue is gusseted, all this. She's like, I won't even be able to get my foot in. And I order her on a whim because they just happen to have them. And I don't even know if you like that colorway, but there you go.
I didn't care.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so either way, I order her true size, which is rare for her, and they fit you perfectly.
They do. It was like a Cinderella moment.
So with all that being said, do you have any final thoughts or anything?
No, it's just you should really go get this shoe. Like,
and she does not with Nike, so you know that she means it.
I know. I might be wearing some Dunks today, which are not the comfortable Dunks, so I kind of want to rip them off. But yeah, I literally go out of my way to not buy Nikes after however many years of doing this. I'm just kind of like, there's so many other brands, so that's usually where I throw my money at.
There's so many other better brands, okay? Nostalgia's one thing, but there's better out there. However, there are still some gems within the Nike wheelhouse. This is one of them, so if you're interested in checking out something that's actually worth value, to me anyways, you know what I mean? Like something that's comfortable, you can wear all day, that'll match with whatever, depending on the color that you get, because that was definitely not it. I just noticed that your tongue is different than mine.
Yeah, it is.
I think mine's like the premium one, which is maybe why I have leather and yours doesn't.
That's fine.
So
it works.
Yeah, either way, it's a great shoe. So whether you're looking to run or walk or do whatever the you want to do in them, this is that shoe, man. Like, these are dope. I don't even untie mine. I just slide them back. You know, these are awesome, dude. Trust me. But with all that being said, thank you once again for being here. We really do appreciate you guys. We'll catch you all on the next one. So until then, have a good one.